I have a huge amount of respect for C418, the guy who did the music for Minecraft. I don't play a ton of Minecraft, I've dabbled a little bit and had fun doing it, but I adore the original soundtrack. It's really beautifully composed and produced, and it's great for focus for me, and it's one of the few kind of super chill pieces of music that I can listen to while working and not have it put me to sleep. And a lot of the melodic kind of devices it uses I thought would be really compatible with the tropes of synthwave and retrowave. So today I'm actually going to bring those two worlds together. I went ahead and downloaded the MIDI for Living Mice from MuseScore, and I'm going to bring that into my DAW and use that to make a synthwave version of that track from the Minecraft soundtrack. And I'm going to be making heavy use of Analog Lab for this by Arturia. They did send it over to me a while back, so I find myself using it quite a bit. You definitely don't need it to make kind of vintage style electronic music, but I do quite enjoy it. It's a pretty big repository of a lot of really fantastic sounds. So without any further ado, let's remix some Minecraft. What I really want to start off with is some kind of, say, lead, or maybe some kind of keys, because I want something that'll kind of ring out. That's kind of a good basis. So then this definitely needs to be updated. So this is when I really want to ring out. That's nice. I really like the Jupiter 8 stuff. In fact, I kind of want to just duplicate that and use that as a layer for this main backbone of the track. Let's send that an octave down. Reduce the cutoff of that, so I have some room for this to kind of grow. And so for this lead, I kind of like that tone, but what I really need is something that rings out. So let me see if I can find something like that. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. That really brings it to life. And to really push that over the top, let's give this guy some extra reverb. This is working. This is really working. So what I want next is some drums. So I've got my own free sample pack pulled up, so I'm just going to start throwing samples around. So this is going to be the main section that I focus on. And I can kind of build it out from there. This is going to be a pretty good foundation. So I have a very specific snare that I'm looking for. It is this one. So we're going to keep the drums mega simple to start things off, and then get a hi-hat in here. And then of course both of these elements are just demanding a ton of reverb. That may be a bit much. Kick could use some reverb, because this is the 80s, or at least a Gen Z version of the 80s. And of course, you guessed it, maybe what I don't like, I wonder if that crossfade's messing me up. Let's get rid of that. And then this snare could definitely use a bit of cleanup. And all the stuff's too loud, so let's... So what I need next, some kind of bass. And also let's hear how this sounds. So we can bring this in as a layer later on. Right now, there's one really specific bass that I really like. Give me the good bass. Oh, that'll work. So this can probably ride on one note. So what I'm going to do is just put in a really simple bass line, kind of follow what this initial bass note is doing in every bar, and that should yield a bass line that follows the chord progression of the song, at least kind of in general. So we'll see how this ends up sounding. So then I'll just keep doing that. Propagate that throughout this whole section. So then this I also want to keep simple. And I like that little jump, so let's retain that, because I think that's cool. And while I'm at it, copy these drums over, and we'll have our first kind of full section. Except, what if I sent this down an octave? So this might be a really cool opportunity to have the synths kind of interact. So where the bell goes high, this can go low. So that section is taken care of. So then in this case, the low sections will be deleted. So the hope is that they'll kind of interact, the two synths weaving in and out of each other, which I think could be really cool. And also having this synth stacked on itself is a little much. So my hope is that this softens the impact of that harshness a little bit. Okay, so let's try that. And let's copy my drums over again. This definitely needs some reverb. And then one additional thing I could do to really push this over the top is load up a plugin I've really been loving lately, Super VHS, also a friend of the channel. So load that in at like a slight mix. So just for reference, here's it off. And here's on. Okay, so one more thing I want to do is try to add some kind of like pad, some kind of chord part to really drive home the kind of floatiness of this and also kind of anchor it, ironically enough. So I'm just going to take this bass ARP part and extend all these notes out because it does serve kind of the same function as an arpeggiated part, and so I can probably kind of reverse engineer that into a chord progression. That's nice. It's a little low, but it's nice. And I think this is just the same chord repeated multiple times, so I can just make it the same chord and then repeat it multiple times. My poor CPU is crying. It hates my guts. However, once this is finished, hopefully it'll sound really cool. Okay, so pitch all this stuff up an octave. Oh boy, yeah. All right, so here is our final section. I really can't layer anymore. My CPU is starting to hate my guts, so I'm gonna stop it here, but here's the section. This is Gabe from the future. I also did another session off camera where I remixed a different Minecraft soundtrack track, Moog City. So I'm gonna play you a snippet from that and then I'll go ahead and end the video. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to check out Analog Lab for yourself, you can click or tap the link in the description. And if you'd like to see another video where I make kind of pretty, floaty synthwave, you can click or tap up over here. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a new video in a little bit.